working in the Oulu University of Applied Sciences. I teach music technology there, and I've been lately, for the last years, I've been involved with all kinds of projects which are combining different digital technologies with performing arts.
Can I get you to be a little closer to the microphone?
Yeah, I will try to do that. Yes, thanks. And then I was asked to do some kind of presentation about the work that we have been doing in this Muse project. That I think, like yesterday, we got some presentation of that part where the healthcare sector was combined with the musical interventions. And in this Muse project, our work has been more about which kind of tools are used in music production. So for this presentation, we are going to have two parts. I'm going to first to present some key findings and some overall concepts about how the music is being nowadays produced remotely. And then after that, we have a guest here online, Henrik Wintereg Tomathorn will join us on Zoom, and we will be going to demonstrate some of these use cases that are being used in this work. And after that, if we have still time, we will have some maybe some comments and questions. So just I will quickly go through some key points of this Muse project we have been doing for now 1.5 years, and we have 4 partnering institutions in Finland in which we have been exploring, comparing and testing and training the use of some different tools that are being used in music remote collaboration. And our target groups are basically, let's say, maybe a little bit lower level persons. So this presentation might be there might be some parts in this that are totally familiar to you. And the work that we have been doing in Oulu is about which kind of tools there are that are being used now in making high quality remote collaboration when the music is being made. And we have 2 persons working in this from our institution, me and Mr. Olli Estola, who I think might be somewhere there in the audience. And when we are thinking about this remote music production, what exactly are we talking about? It's something that at least concerns like two partners, and quite often these sessions are made in multi-point setup with many more people attending. And the low latency is not our main focus in here, because typically these situations are so that we are, let's say, recording some artist or some instruments, and or doing maybe some kind of online mixing sessions, or co-writing songs remotely. And we have found out that there are basically two sides and two different kinds of activities concerning this. The first is the remote music production side, where one of the participants is typically controlling the situation, and the other is the one where we collaborate. Let's say we are co-writing songs, and then the activity is usually much more less hierarchical, also technically. And you could also argue that the all the music productions today have some kind of remote aspect in them. Let's say if the files are uploaded to cloud services and so on. And for these the last 5 days we have had here, we have been talking a lot about open source software, and I find it a little bit sad to say that this presentation will focus quite much on this Apple-centric world. And we are going to demonstrate with Henrik at least the use of this audio movers software, which we have found that it's really practical and easy to use. And when I said earlier that the low latency is not in the main focus in here, and typically these solutions that we are using, they have something like 1 second of latency in them. So like nowadays you can do so much with these laptop computers, and we have listed here some equipment that are typically needed in these kind of sessions. But it's like quite basic stuff. And then I'm sorry that there are some parts on this slide in Finnish, but I will quickly introduce you this work that we did with Olli, let's say 1 year ago, when we were thinking this concept of remote music production, and we found out that there are typically at least 4 or maybe 5 different kind of levels that are used for different kind of activities. So in the bottom part of this pyramid, we can find the layer in which we want to share files. And we have included there some of the most common solutions that are used for that. And then we typically need some kind of talkback connection for the basic communication for the basic communication tasks. And so it's the 4th layer where we need to hear the other participants and the video is also really handy there often. And in the 3rd layer, we will typically need to transmit or stream really high quality audio. And also there you can see those options that we have found that have been used in this work quite much. And the second layer before the top layer, there is this option to use these collaborative web-based DAWs, which are typically quite simple to use, and people can participate doing music in same process file via the browser. And this software, we have found that they are maybe often too simple, and because of that we hadn't had too much time for the research them more. And there in the first layer, there is the option to control computers remotely, and also these screen share functions. So that's the pyramid, and I want you to pay attention that we can do so much already in Zoom. And one could maybe argue that they are in this 3rd level where you would want to stream the audio in as high quality as is possible. The Zoom might not be enough for that. So to to finalize that part, here is those basic like 4 elements that are needed in this work. So, and here I have been including some different ways to how we can stream DAW audio to Zoom, and there are at least 3 ways. So the first 2 are including the Zoom sound, and we know that when we are doing it like that, then we are going through the Zoom's sound processing, and it's not optimal, let's say. So I will quickly go maybe through these ones, but when we are sharing the sound to Zoom, we are using often these virtual audio drivers that are handy when we are combining different signals in the computer and sending some other parts, let's say to Zoom and elsewhere. It seems to be a little bit easier with Macs, but can be done with Windows too. And here we can see that we have many kinds of options for these tasks. But I'm not sure if this is like too interesting. So it's usually much more handy to stream the sound externally from the Zoom, as we have heard during the last days that is a common workflow too. So we could also use these maybe Jacktrip or Cleanfeed or Sonobus, which have more freeze kind of licensing, but for this presentation we are going to see how this audio movers is working. So there were much more things to present, but maybe I will now start the session with Henrik, and we will see which kind of example workflows there is for this. So maybe if I see here, we can see Henrik there on the screen, and I might need to is it like this one all right, and then we might hear Henrik already. Maybe now.
Hi.
Hello, hello, Henrik. So we had these two different use cases that we were going to present. So which one would be the first?
All of the audio movers, right?
Yes.
So should we just start the tape?
Yeah. I would like to quickly introduce this workflow. So this kind of workflow is used when we are production, let's say, some final recordings for the song that is being produced. So Henrik is now in a studio in Aalborg, and he will record there locally to the studio computer, and then we are going to hear the sound in really high quality through that audio mover software. So I could now maybe open some DAW, for example, and then I will see that we have. I would need to add audio device and make a new track, and let's say it would be from audio movers, and then I'm finding the audio movers plugin, and it's the wrong one. I'm sorry, and then this one is the correct one. And Henrik has already set this session up, and I could just go for the Zoom session, or it's in my email, so I can take it here, and I could just copy and paste the link for the audio movers. And now it seems to be already working, and when we would maybe even record the thing, I could maybe do it like this. And Henrik, so you could start, and we will see how it goes. Okay, so we don't have a connection yet, but let's see if it's...
No, I shut it down, so I just need to send you maybe a new link.
All right.
In link working. There was just some problems. Just a new link.
All right, now it should work.
Yes.
All right, nice.
Go ahead.
All right, yeah. Go on.
lyst og lys blev til lyst og kys. Et rungende ja. Et sekund tiden frøs. Tusinde grunde til at lade være. Hvorfor begynde denne affære med dig? Hvorfor du tvivler, vi to i livet lige nu med et ja.
Yeah.
So now I can hear you again.
Yeah. It was really nice and smooth, and then we could maybe do some kind of adjustments. But then it would be better if we could like quickly just do the second one and we are finished then. Yeah. Okay. So we would also like to do the part where we are co-writing songs. So it's like a much more simpler thing, and I'm like, let's say I need to change here something that it can be worked. And now when I'm choosing the speaker as this one, we have been preparing some kind of simple song idea, in which Henrik will be now recording some vocals. Okay.
You say that we can go on. I say we gotta try. We gotta let matter, you know. We're caught in an interference, caught up in this distance where we go. We gotta move on. Gotta move on.
And so on. Yeah. So yeah. So I guess this is really simple to record the sound that Henrik is making on the Zoom to a door. And,
Yes.
yeah, but I think we have a little bit run out of time now. So.
Run out of time, but beautiful demonstration.
Okay.
Near to my heart. I am a songwriter, so this is wonderful. Thank you, Jussi. Thank you, Henry. This is beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
We are out of time, but wonderful to have a chance to see the work that you're doing, and in a different application, in songwriting. That's just so wonderful. For me, that's just great. Yes, let's thank our speaker again. I said last but not least.
Thank you.